Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. Royal commentator Neil Sean says that the Harry and Meghan documentary is seen by the royals as fluff. Sean told Fox News, "It's seen over here, and particularly within palace walls, as just fluff and nonsense. The bigger problem is this. The continuation of the tissue of lies that, of course, Meghan Markle and Harry have presented about staff working within the palace. That's the bigger problem." Sean also mentioned the scene of Harry receiving a text from his brother conveniently while the cameras were rolling. Really, there's no recollection of that particular text from William to Harry, so what was on it, and why didn't you show it to the camera? Is it really true, is a question that a lot of people are asking over here. One possible subplot to watch this year is Charles versus his daughter-in-law, no, not Meghan, Kate. Royal expert Daniela Elsa suggests that with a slimmed-down monarchy, Kate will be expected to pick up more public engagements as time goes on. And as much as King Charles III hates that she garners more of the attention, Kate is the star at the palace. From her fashions to those caught-on-video moments with her kids, that's who the royal fans care about. Will the new king want to share the spotlight? And don't forget about those occasional stories about Kate wanting to have another child. Omid Scobie had a critique of the king and wrote the following for Yahoo. When King Charles III reads his first ever Christmas message to the nation, the new monarch made sure to acknowledge an issue currently front of mind for most people in the UK, the cost of living crisis. But it seemed rather hypocritical for the king to express sympathy and concern for difficulties faced by the nation he serves when, just a week prior to recording his message at Windsor Castle, he had quietly made a dramatic U-turn on plans for cut-price coronation celebrations. Despite a coronation committee sallying forth with plans, 3 months later it has been decided by the king and ministers to ditch the leaner celebrations and go full fat. A larger-scale event, it was decided, will be a great advertisement for the UK and a chance to showcase the very best of the country on the world stage, according to sources. Despite the estimated increased cost, Charles' ceremony will be shorter and last between 1 and 2 hours, as opposed to his mother's 3-hour event, with rituals considered outdated or cumbersome cut to allow for the reduced runtime. There are also expected to be far fewer attendees at the 2023 coronation, 2,000 compared to 8,000 at the late Queen's. The big coronation spend comes less than a year after the nation spent millions on the Queen's 4-day Platinum Jubilee and just 42 days before another show of royal pomp and circumstance for the monarch's annual birthday parade, Trooping the Colour, Charles I, in June. Graham Smith, chief executive of the anti-monarchy group Republic, "The coronation isn't necessary. He is already king. This is all about promoting the monarchy and satisfying his ego." Palace Intrigue will be right back. Are you ready for Prince Andrew the Musical? This aired in the UK last weekend, and Royalist had a review, writing, "Rather like Prince Andrew himself, a new show inspired by his travails, Prince Andrew the Musical is a daft, brash, and a gleeful attempt to exploit public fascination with the royal family. Unlike Prince Andrew, the musical is a thing of genius. From the opening credits, which are contained within a Pizza Express logo," Andrew famously claimed in his Car Crash Newsnight interview with Emily Maitlis that he couldn't have been having sex with Virginia Giuffre because he was at the chain pizza restaurant with his kids, to the final number, "You'll always need an Andrew," in which he explains to his brother Charles why he can't ever get rid of him. The lyric, "I was born to be the scapegoat of all our family's shame. Members of the great unwashed demand a saint, but perfect is something we ain't. You haven't heard the last of me yet." The musical cleverly intersperses real news footage into the fictional performances. We get clips of the BBC Newsnight interview, of course, but Prince Andrew, the musical, also tells the story of Prince Andrew's entire gilded life, starting with his birth when newspapers announced the arrival of an unnamed HRH baby, and going all the way to present day, taking in his stint as a fighter pilot in the Falklands War when it is hard to recall now. Andrew was a genuine hero, and the most desirable royal for a generation. Viewers are unlikely to feel huge sympathy for Andrew. He is essentially portrayed as a self-deluded buffoon throughout. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your favorite shows. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue. Good times.
All right, here's the pitch. 5 stories. They're all good news. It's called 5 Good News Stories. No negative news, just good news. Nice, easy way to start your day. Hopefully a smile. Hi, I'm Johnny Mack, host of 5 Good News Stories. You get the premise? There's 5 stories, and they're all good news. It's the number 5 Good News Stories. 5 Good News Stories. Follow the show wherever you get your podcasts.